Beyond the gentle realms of astral travel lies a region both feared and misunderstood. Known as the Umbral, it is a shadow world shaped by the density of thought and emotion. It is the echo of human suffering, desire, and illusion. Unlike the luminous planes above, here the air feels heavy, and the landscape mirrors the inner wounds of the soul. Every step is a reflection of the traveler's own unhealed shadows. The Umbral is sustained not by physical laws but by currents of thought. Fear, anger, envy, and despair crystallize into dense matter, forming entire cities of shadow. Travelers often describe streets that stretch endlessly, bathed in dim grey light, where walls seem alive with whispers. Each structure is born from collective human anguish. To enter here is to walk within the architecture of suffering, sculpted by the minds of countless souls. Unlike the radiant plains where light dances in vibrant hues, the Umbral is wrapped in greyness. The sky appears clouded, often without sun or stars, as though time itself is uncertain. The air feels damp, echoing with unseen sighs. Travelers speak of an oppressive silence broken only by the murmurs of wandering spirits. It is a landscape that resists joy, pressing heaviness upon every thought, demanding confrontation with one's deepest fears. The Umbral is home to countless disoriented spirits. Many are unaware of their own death, drifting in confusion. Others cling to earthly addictions or obsessions, unable to let go. They wander in endless streets, seeking satisfaction that never arrives. Some call for help, others hide in shadows. The traveler who enters must tread carefully, for empathy is tested here, and illusions of the mind can appear more real than reality itself. Desires left unresolved on earth manifest vividly in the Umbral. Taverns without joy, palaces of excess, and endless marketplaces emerge from collective cravings. Yet everything here is hollow. Drinks that never quench, food that never nourishes, pleasures that fade instantly. These illusions trap countless spirits in cycles of longing. The traveler witnesses a theater of desire where every stage is built from the unfinished stories of human lives. At the borders of the Umbral, travelers encounter vast gates of shadow. They are not physical but thresholds of vibration, where the density of thought grows stronger. Passing through requires no key, only resonance. The more unresolved emotions one carries, the deeper one sinks. These gates remind the traveler that the Umbral is not imposed by force, but entered by affinity. To cross them is to meet the mirror of the soul. Within the Umbral, time does not flow as it does on earth. Hours stretch into eternities, or moments collapse into fragments. Spirits often lose all sense of chronology, trapped in loops of thought. One may wander a single street for what feels like centuries, until awareness shifts. For the traveler, this timelessness is both a danger and a teacher. It reveals that time itself is shaped by consciousness. Fear is the currency of the Umbral. It shapes landscapes into nightmares, distorts faces into grotesque masks, and fills the air with whispers of doubt. The traveler who succumbs may spiral deeper into lower planes. Yet, to face fear without fleeing opens pathways upward. In this realm, courage is not conquest but clarity, the ability to see fear as illusion, a shadow cast by the mind upon the infinite. Not all who dwell in the Umbral are lost. From time to time, luminous beings descend into the shadows. Known as rescuers or guides, they search for souls willing to awaken. Their light shines like torches, parting the fog. For the traveler, their presence is a reminder that even in the darkest plains, hope persists. They do not command, but gently invite, extending hands to those who dare to rise. Deeper in the Umbral, vast cities emerge, built from centuries of human sorrow. Towers lean under the weight of grief, streets echo with endless laments. These cities are sustained by collective thought, as though sorrow itself has become stone and mortar. To walk through them is to hear the voices of histories forgotten, repeating their anguish. The traveler realizes the Umbral is not just personal, but collective shadow. A somber river winds through the Umbral, its waters thick with sorrow. Every drop carries the echoes of human grief, flowing endlessly into horizons unseen. Lost spirits gather at its banks, weeping into the current, their cries amplifying its tide. For the traveler, this river reveals the weight of collective pain, how even tears, when unhealed, create landscapes of density that shape the astral. Among shadows, one also finds illusions of splendor. Palaces of gold rise shimmering yet dissolve when touched. Thrones of power attract the proud, who sit only to discover emptiness beneath. The umbral magnifies false identities, trapping those who cling to status or ego. For the traveler, these illusions warn that not all glitter is divine. Some radiance is but shadow disguised in splendor. The umbral speaks through whispers. They are not voices of guides, but echoes of unfinished thoughts. Sometimes they tempt, other times they accuse, reminding souls of their regrets. These murmurs echo across misty streets, often indistinguishable from one's own mind. The traveler must learn to listen without believing, for the fog amplifies inner doubts. Silence of heart is the only compass here. Many souls remain chained to earthly addictions: drink, lust, control, greed. In the umbral, these cravings magnify, yet satisfaction is never granted. Spirits repeat gestures endlessly, drinking shadows, embracing phantoms, shouting into emptiness. These cycles reveal how habits outlast the body, binding consciousness to illusion. The traveler sees that liberation is not escape, but transcendence of desire itself. Every thought in the umbral resonates outward, instantly shaping reality. A fearful impulse conjures monstrous visions. A calm prayer may open radiant light above. This law teaches that the umbral is both a prison and a mirror. What the soul sends, it receives magnified. For the traveler, discipline of mind is the key. Without mastery, one becomes lost in the spirals of one's own creation. Beneath the common umbral lie darker regions, where despair thickens into near-material solidity. Here landscapes resemble caverns of ash and endless night. Grotesque figures, born of collective hatred, drift in silence. The air feels heavy, almost unbreathable. Few travelers descend willingly. Those who do must radiate unwavering clarity or risk sinking deeper into the gravity of sorrow. Not all experiences in the umbral are punishment. Some are lessons disguised in darkness. Encounters with hostile beings may awaken courage. Wandering through endless cities may test patience. Even pain becomes a teacher when the traveler chooses awareness. Thus the umbral reveals a paradox. Within its density lies the seed of growth, should one dare to see beyond fear. Spirits often replay moments of their earthly life in endless loops. Scenes of betrayal, failure, or cruelty reappear vividly, as though time itself has frozen. This repetition is not punishment, but reflection, an opportunity to confront what was denied. The traveler observes that regret is a mirror, not a sentence, yet many remain trapped, unwilling to forgive themselves. Some souls unwilling to face truth create false heavens. These landscapes appear beautiful, radiant gardens, temples of light, flowing fountains. Yet the harmony is fragile, dissolving at the slightest disturbance. These are self-made illusions, not higher planes. The traveler must discern between authentic light and imitation, learning that true elevation cannot be fabricated by denial. At certain thresholds, guardians appear. They are not judges, but keepers of vibration. Their presence is immense, sometimes terrifying, yet filled with purpose. They prevent premature ascent, for only souls of resonance may rise. The traveler may meet them as towering beings of shadow and light, reminding that the astral is ordered, even within chaos. Passage is granted not by plea, but by inner transformation. Some regions of the umbral burn with strange flames. Unlike earthly fire, these do not consume flesh but illusion. Souls passing through feel their shadows dissolving, pride, anger, fear, each scorched away by luminous heat. For the traveler, these fires appear both terrifying and healing. They teach that purification is not gentle, but a fierce cleansing that prepares the soul for higher realms. In vast plains, towers rise into the fog. Within, silence reigns. Spirits sit motionless, staring endlessly at the void. These towers are built by minds that rejected life, that surrendered to apathy. For the traveler, they reveal a chilling truth. Neglect of one's own light creates prisons as real as chains. Silence can heal, but in the umbral, silence can also enslave. The umbral is not merely individual, it is collective. Wars, cruelty, oppression, and hatred all echo here. One may encounter landscapes that embody centuries of suffering, battlefields that never end, prisons without walls, ruins of forgotten empires. The traveler learns that humanity's shadows do not vanish. They imprint upon the astral, awaiting healing by future generations. A common torment in the umbral is loneliness. Souls feel cut off from all connection, wandering in isolation. Yet the truth is otherwise. Separation is illusion, born of fear. The traveler realizes that the umbral magnifies this false belief. To break it, one must recall unity, that every consciousness remains linked to the source, even in shadow. Amid shadows, faint shafts of light descend from higher planes. These are not accidents, but invitations. Some souls follow the glow, rising slowly. Others turn away, fearing its intensity. The traveler learns that the umbral is not eternal. Within every darkness, light persists. The call is constant, awaiting the moment when the soul chooses to hear. Sometimes guides enter the umbral disguised as ordinary spirits. They approach gently, speaking in familiar ways, earning trust from the lost. Only later do they reveal their light, when the soul is ready. These helpers show that rescue is not always dramatic, but patient and compassionate. For the traveler, they remind that love adapts to every realm. Between shadow and light, bridges appear, threads of energy that shimmer across the void. They are paths of resonance built by prayer, compassion, or remembrance. Lost spirits can cross them when they open their hearts. The traveler sees these bridges not as structures, but as songs of vibration connecting realms through the frequency of love. Ultimately, the umbral is not a place of eternal punishment but of transformation. Shadows dissolve when faced with awareness. Illusions vanish when embraced by truth. The traveler learns that every descent has purpose, every darkness hides a lesson. To walk through the umbral is to face the self, and in doing so, to awaken a deeper strength. At last the soul ascends. Mist thins, landscapes brighten, and the weight of density lifts. The traveler feels wings of thought unfold, carrying consciousness upward. Behind lies the umbral, not as a prison, but as a teacher. Ahead shines the radiant plains of peace, where clarity and joy expand. Every step upward is earned, every shadow now understood. The umbral is not to be feared, but respected. It mirrors the hidden corners of humanity, offering both challenge and growth. For the traveler, it stands as a reminder. Light is discovered only by passing through shadow. To know oneself fully is to walk both valleys and summits of consciousness. In the end, the umbral whispers its secret. Even the darkest night exists only because light awaits the dawn. Within the umbral, mirrors do not reveal the face but the soul's deepest fractures. Travelers describe standing before shimmering panes, where their regrets, betrayals, and fears stare back with unbearable clarity. To endure such visions is a trial of honesty. Few can accept the full weight of their hidden flaws, yet those who face their reflections find that the glass dissolves, opening secret paths to higher realms. Silent presences linger across umbral planes, neither hostile nor kind. These watchers observe with unfathomable patience. Their forms shift like cloaked shadows, faceless yet piercing. Some say they are guardians, others believe they are remnants of forgotten gods. Whatever their nature, their gaze penetrates the traveler's thoughts, leaving a sensation of being weighed against cosmic justice. Travelers often recount sinking into viscous marshlands, where every step feels like dragging chains. This swamp is the materialization of regret, a mire of unresolved pasts. Each footprint echoes with voices of what could have been. Those who remain too long grow weary and sink into the depths, only to reawaken among even denser shadows. Escape requires surrender, acceptance of what cannot be changed. A river flows through parts of the umbral, carrying countless voices in its current. Each whisper is a forgotten name, a memory lost to time. To drink from this river is to lose identity, drifting endlessly as a fragment without self. Yet sages warn that by listening carefully, one may recover pieces of ancient knowledge hidden beneath its currents, treasures for those with unwavering focus. Within the umbral lies a labyrinthine city, where every wall is lined with doors. Each door opens to a different nightmare, unfinished dreams, fears, or distorted memories. Travelers often enter seeking escape, only to wander further into confusion. Yet hidden among them is a single door of light, which when found leads to realms of higher vibration. The trial is not to fear, but to persist, In the umbral, faint whispers pursue the wanderer, growing louder in moments of weakness. These are the hungry ones, entities that feed on lingering human sorrow. They are drawn not by flesh, but by despair, attaching themselves like shadows to weakened travelers. To resist them, one must hold steady the flame of will, for only inner clarity can dissolve their grip. Dense fog covers wide territories in the umbral, obscuring all direction. Travelers lose sense of distance, wandering for what feels like centuries. Within the fog, illusions emerge, voices of loved ones, comforting lights, or familiar landscapes, yet each is a trap, designed to lure one deeper into confusion. Only unwavering focus, like a compass of the soul, allows safe passage beyond the mist. At times, travelers fall into bottomless abysses, floating weightlessly in infinite blackness. Here there is no ground, no horizon, only the echo of one's own fears. The abyss is not a punishment, but a mirror, amplifying the emptiness within. Those who panic remain adrift for ages. Those who breathe deeply and release fear find the void transforming into starlit gateways of passage. Some beings in the umbral appear as builders, shaping landscapes of sorrow with deliberate intent. Known as the architects of shadow, they are said to feed on human emotion, crafting vast structures to imprison lost souls. Their designs resemble cathedrals of despair, towers without end, palaces of silence. Their purpose remains unknown, yet their creations stand as monuments to the density of collective suffering. Echoes of countless voices fill the umbral skies. These cries belong to those who lingered too long, their identities dissolving into collective wails. Travelers report hearing their names whispered by unseen lips, sometimes pleading for help, sometimes cursing. The cries overwhelm the unprepared, but the seasoned traveler listens with compassion, offering silent prayers that bring faint rays of light into the darkness. The umbral also contains spirals of energy, luminous whirlwinds that trap travelers in cycles of desire. Each turn of the spiral presents visions of pleasures, temptations, and unattained ambitions. Those who chase them are drawn deeper, spinning endlessly. Escape requires breaking the cycle, seeing the illusions for what they are. Only by releasing desire does the spiral collapse, opening the way forward. Some regions of the umbral seem to freeze time itself. Travelers recount entire lifetimes lived in seconds, or seconds stretched into eternities. The sensation is unbearable. Days without dawn, nights without end. This prison is built not of stone, but of perception, holding souls captive in loops of repetition. Only by surrendering the obsession with time can the chain be broken. At the edges of the umbral stand immense figures of light and shadow. These guardians are said to test every traveler before allowing ascent to higher realms. Their questions are not spoken, but felt, piercing inquiries into the soul's integrity. Those unready are turned back, wandering again through shadowed paths. Those who pass awaken to luminous skies beyond imagination. Though heavy with sorrow, the umbral is not without hope. Hidden within its soil lie seeds of liberation, glowing sparks awaiting recognition. Each act of courage, each moment of acceptance, plants these seeds in the traveler's path. When nurtured with compassion, they bloom into radiant flowers, guiding the wanderer to safe passage and higher planes of existence. To transcend the umbral is to emerge reborn. The traveler who passes its trials carries scars of shadow, but also the wisdom of survival. What once appeared as torment is revealed as teaching, each darkness a hidden lesson in light. Beyond the umbral, the astral world unfolds in luminous expanses, welcoming those who dared to face the depths of their own soul.